Alrighty, good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a great day and enjoying yourselves. Now, this week has been a very interesting week, but we'll dive into that a little bit later on. The purpose of this show this morning is what the two-sided question, basically. What drives your second life, and is second life itself a driving force for you in what you do? That's the question itself is an interesting one. Because if you sit there and you stop and you think about it, I mean, really think about it, Second Life can be so much to so many people. You can do what you want with it. You can alter it. You can mold it into what you see inside yourself for what a virtual world should look like. Well, what your virtual world should look like, I should say. Now, this is going to be a little bit of an experiment as far as time slot is concerned. But if this time slot, as time progresses, turns out to be a good one for me, then we'll start doing more and more live streams at this hour of the morning. Now, for those of y'all that might be catching this at a later date, either through the YouTube or through my radio station, jackbatson.com, don't forget to send us a like, drop a little email if you see fit, and let us know what you're thinking about the content we create here. You know, if I was going to have to answer that question myself, I would have to say that parts of Second Life is a driving force for me. Not necessarily Second Life itself, because I kind of have more, a broader picture than what some may think. And there's the driving force behind my Second Life would have to be being able to communicate with people from all over the world and sharing my ideas and in some circles views on the way the world is. You'll hear a lot of that from me. You know this. Anybody who's a regular watcher to the YouTube channel or radio station, you know what it's all about. For those of y'all that are new, welcome. This is Jack's World. Now, here I produce radio content, videos, do a little bit of exploring videos from time to time, although I haven't been doing a whole lot of that here lately. I've been focusing more on interviews and diving into different communities within the Second Life world. And I think that you are going to like this afternoon's interview with Kent Oleander, owner of Second Life's Roller Derby Association. That should be a very interesting one. So make sure you tune in later on today for that as well. Now, getting back to the topic at hand, what drives Second Life? And is Second Life a driving force for you? Come on now. Don't be shy. You know you want to participate. It's all good underneath the hood, you know. For those of y'all that might be Second Life residents and you're in the world right now, hit me with an IM and I might bring you on the show if you have an interesting take on what drives Second Life for you. For those of you on my Discord server, don't be shy for me to shout out there as well. I am watching both Yahoo chat and Discord chat, so we're all covered there. You know, Second Life can be a beautiful thing, but it can also be a dangerous thing when you sit there and you think about it. You can meet some very interesting people, but you can meet some people who might want to take you down the wrong path. So if you're a newcomer, I've said this before, I'll say it again, and I'll say it on practically every live stream or video that I do from here on out. If you're a newcomer to Second Life, be careful in what you do and how you operate, because not everybody is going to be on the up and up. Now, what are some of the driving forces behind Second Life? I would have to say a lot of people that are Second Life residents, they had to do the 50 Linden sales and on the weekends and so forth and so on. Ah, yes. Hello there, baby P. It's a very interesting world we live in Second Life, and you can do so much with it. So much. Just sending her a little answering her instant message that's in world, by the way. Then we'll get back to what I was talking about. The driving force behind Second Life for some people is the shopping, the role playing, and the interaction for people, quite honestly. I mean, if you sit there and you look at what you really do from here on out, like I said in the opening, you can really mold your Second Life to anything you want it to be if you're brand new. It can be a little tricky. Um, Now you'll hear a lot of different people sit there basically saying the same thing to a certain degree. When you're first creating your avatar, you're trying to get it looking the way you might want it to look, and you're brand new. Now, this is very important for those of y'all that might be brand new to Second Life and you're catching this for the first time or what have you. Don't let them trick you into thinking that you got to spend a whole lot of lending in here. You're going to have to spend some, yes. But if you're smart and you know how to manage your lending, and you get out there once you get your feet wet, and you start walking around and exploring and checking out some of the freebie sales and the cheap sales. Now that is, I'm going to be honest with you, the weekend sales. If you like to shop and you're into the whole fashion bug type thing, you're going to love it. You're going to absolutely love it, and it can be a main driving force to your Second Life. Now, is Second Life a driving force for you? Only you're going to be able to answer that question. Does it drive what you do? Just the idea of going into it each and every day to seeing what else is new and what you can discover about it. Does that drive you? I mean, come on. You got to think about these things because, you're going to run into a lot of, like I said before, you're going to run into a lot of different people. And everybody's got their own agenda. Make no mistake about it. This is I've done videos on this particular subject of what I'm getting ready to say before. Parts of the real world have started seeping into your virtual world. In a way, that's a good thing. In a way, it can be a bad thing. Now, we're getting off subject just a little bit, but I think you might need to hear this. Welcome to those of y'all that just tuned in. Hope you're having a great day. But, okay, here's how it can be a bad thing. It can be a bad thing because the outside world of the real influencing your fantasy life to where you can't break away from it long enough to relax and to gather yourself. Now, in a good way, when you got reality seeping into your virtual world, is that when you start to actually make real connections and you really can get to know somebody. Now, for those of y'all just not tuning in, let me redirect a little bit so you all know what we're talking about here. What drives your second life? It's a double-edged question because not only would this drive your second life, but the second life itself drive you. Now, I want you all to really think about that. Honestly, it can. This world is so amazing that it can really be a driving force in anything you do. It can really drive your imagination. It can not expire, inspire. Yes, early in the morning. So yeah, I'm going to misquote a little bit here and there, misstep, talk a little bit. Like I said in the opening, this particular time slot is going to be an experimental time slot. If this time slot works out to be good for a regular talk show, then I'm going to stick with it. If not, then I'll find another time slot until I find that magic sweet spot. Now, in the opening, I was talking about how for some people the weekend sales is a driving force for them in Second Life. So is creating, so is, running a store. Anything and everything can basically be a driving force. But what I wanted to know is what moves the needle in your all's world. I have put this poll out before in my Discord channel, and nobody really bid on it, so I thought I would go ahead and just put it on out there to all y'all. I know some of y'all person are going to be rolling your eyes later on if you're not tuned in during the live stream and you're watching the rebroadcast at a later date. Mind you, this is also going to be up on the radio station a little bit later on with a few little extras here and there that you won't be able to see on YouTube. But getting back to what I was talking about, I want to know what Second Life drives you. What part of it? Do you just come in here just to flake out? Do you just come in here to just escape from your reality? Do you come in here to be with certain people? Do you come in here to test your imagination and your boundaries? Now, there are a lot of great Sims out here. Boy, I'm getting tongue-tied left and right today, aren't I? Woo! Anyway, there are a lot of interesting Sims out here that can really test your imagination. They really can. They can push it to the outer brink, and they can inspire you as well. Well, now, if you're actually involved in a role play, though, sometimes, and they have health activated on some Sims, your avatar can suffer a death. That can put a real interesting twist on a lot of different things, don't you think? Hey there, Mad Aussie. How you doing? Hey, now, let's not go there. Let's not go there. I've kind of turned a new leaf in certain ways. If you stick around and watch a little bit of the content, you'll know. But I'm glad you piped in there a little bit, Mad Aussie. Good to see you. Hope things are doing well for you. Now, so tell me, Mad Aussie, what drives your second life, and is second life itself the driving force? Hmm. I'm doing all right. Thank you for asking. Yeah, well, you've known me for a very long time, but yeah, things are not always the way they used to be now. Yeah, you've known me for quite a few years, so I'll give you that much. Yeah. It used to be a driving force. What? You don't think it's a driving force for you now? Oh, so now you just use it to come in and listen to music. Well, that's another little driving force there. I mean, for some people, that is a driving force. Come in to listen to live acts, interact with people. I mean, that's the beauty part of the Second Life. It can really be anything you really want it to be. But I'm so glad you're chiming in. Yeah, I know you used to DJ. And yes, I'm glad you still have your SL family. You know, you can always get back into DJing. There are clubs all over Second Life that are always looking for a good talented DJ like yourself. You know, okay, I'm going to say this for those of y'all that might be tuning in a little bit later date or catching the rebroadcast later on. No matter what you're going through in your personal life, like, I'm going to first of all, let's clarify something real quick. The age-old argument when it comes to Second Life is, you have one side of the aisle saying Second Life is just a game. Then you have the other side of the aisle sitting there saying Second Life is a virtual world. And they argue between each other all the time. Oh, I'm sorry you're having computer issues there, Mad Odyssey. I'm just going to start calling you Mad. Instead of saying Mad Odyssey, that's just too much of a mouthful for a live show. Anyway, getting back to what I was saying. It can be a driving force. You just got to know, have your expectations tempered. Don't come in here thinking that you're looking for one thing and get all upset if you don't find it right away. I mean, I run into this all the time with people just now coming into Second Life. They come in here, they're expecting to find, for example, their true love. Not everybody in here is looking for true love. There are quite a few people that come into Second Life just to have fun and act out their fantasies. So what I would strongly suggest is everybody gets on the same page at once and you define your role and what you're looking for. Excuse me. Well, you know what? I'm going to disagree with you to a certain degree. And I'm going to tell you why I disagree with you to a certain degree, Matt. You can incorporate it, yes. It can become very emotional, yes. You can get very close to people, yes. However, there are people in here that solely come in here just for roleplay purposes. And I'll guarantee you this. To those that come in here for just roleplay purposes, they're not going to allow you to get to know the real them. They are definitely going to be separating what they're doing in the real and what they're doing in Second Life. You're going to be getting a version of a character they've created. And there's nothing wrong with that. In my opinion, there's nothing wrong with it at all. See, when Jack logs out, Jake goes to sleep. And that persona gets put away, and I'll go off and do what I need to do in the real. When Jack logs in, Jack's awake, and it's showtime, baby. But yeah, you know. Well, it depends on I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna disagree with you entirely on that, Mad. Real life feelings can come into play if you're, but I'm just saying there are people that come in here, they're not looking for that. There are a lot of people coming in here that are not looking for that. And then you got the same type of, almost the same amount numbers coming in on the flip side of that that are looking for that. And those are the ones that end up getting hurt because nobody's being honest about what they're really looking for. To me, okay, I've been a Second Life president for a lot of years. And I've said this before, and for those of you all that have known me from the beginning, you can testify to this. When I first came to Second Life, it was for inspiration. I've told this story before, and I'll tell it again for some of y'all that are new or some of y'all that have forgotten. I wrote a book of poetry, and I put a couple poems out on the internet years and years ago. This person found some poetry of mine that was on the internet. They emailed me asking if I was the same person that they went to high school with. We corresponded for a little bit trying to figure out who was who and all that to see if we did go to high school together. Then they told me about Second Life. When I create, and they convinced me to come in that based on my writing ability, that what I would encounter in Second Life as far as the Sims and the interaction with people, it would inspire my work. And they were right. So I went to work for them in Second Life as a DJ for a while, built up some Linden, and started doing my own thing. But yeah, when I first came to Second Life, I wasn't coming in there to, find this, find that. I was coming in there solely for the role play aspect of it and the inspiration aspect of it. Have I developed some good friendships? Yes. That's part of it. That's where the emotions come from. There's a continual interaction with the people you're meeting. If you interact with them on a regular or semi-regular basis, then yeah, you're going to slowly let them in. I'm not going to argue that. I'm just saying that people don't necessarily come in here for that. That's why it's such a beautiful platform. To me, you have the arguments. Oh, it's a virtual world. It's a social platform. That's what it was geared for. That's what it was designed for. You can be able to socialize with other people. It's what do they call it now? The metaverse or something like that. I mean, come on. You want to really talk, but that's a different topic for a different day. Today is about the driving force of your Second Life, and is it a driving force in itself? So we're going to get right back to that topic. Now we've already heard what Mad thinks about it. For her, it used to be a driving force. Now it's more or less just for the music aspect of it. And she brings up a very interesting sidebar. The emotions of real life and Second Life and how they can blend together. I'm not arguing that one bit. Oh, excuse me. It can become very intense. And if you're not careful, you can get hurt by it. You can find some very good-hearted people that will bend over backwards to help you out in your time of need, here. So let's not take away from that. Let's not diminish that one bit. There are genuine people in here that are here to help. It's a great place for a support system. If you're not getting a type of support system in your physical world, see, this is where I break away from real versus virtual. I look at it like physical versus virtual. In the physical world, you can touch them, you can eat, you can feel the breeze on your face, you can feel the sun warm up your skin on those nice, sweet summer days. And in the wintertime, you can feel the chill of the air, the snow going up your leg when you're sitting there walking around after, so you got like 6 or 8 inches. All that you cannot experience in the virtual world. So yeah, you had there is a separation there a little bit. Hmm. There's a lot. Look, man, there's a lot. Let me take this little I am and Second Life. Make sure that I'm not. Hello there, Morgana. You're listening. I'm glad you're listening. Welcome to the show. Now, getting back to what I was saying, though, honestly, you know, Mad brings up a lot of interesting points. She really does. All I am trying to say is basically this. You know, it just depends on what you're looking for. What you come into Second Life for is going to, in my opinion, drive your Second Life. And if you actually able to find what you come here looking for, then yeah, real emotions are going to get involved. I never said that they're not going to. Real emotions will get involved once you find that little niche and you start developing that chemistry and that bond. But for those of y'all that are brand new to Second Life, and you might be seeing this video or my content for the first time, and you're thinking about diving deep into the virtual world of Second Life, be careful. Be careful because there are a lot of bad actors in there. They really are. They will chew you up and spit you out. Plain and simple. Yeah, okay, man. I've been trying to figure out exactly how to say that for the people that might not be seeing local the chat on the radio side later on. Um, okay, what Matt is basically referring to is if you're a pain in the butt in the physical world, you're going to be a pain in the butt in the virtual world. If you're plain and simple, if you're looking for trouble, you're going to find trouble and you're going to cause trouble. I think I basically most sensible way of echoing what Matt is sitting there talking about in chat. And like I said, she brings up some very interesting points. Morgana, if you're still listening, I'm glad to have you. Feel free to, if you have a question or two you want me to address, shoot me an IM in World or in Discord or even in the YouTube chat. I'll do my best to keep up. It's kind of a slow morning. Like I said in the beginning, this is going to be a test slot time period. 6 a.m. Eastern time for me. Monday through Friday is what I'm looking for. And if this time slot works out to be a good one, then I'm going to stick with it. If it seems to be it doesn't start picking up in watchtivity and activity and chat and stuff, then I'll start looking for another time slot. But this is a segment of my live shows that I'm going to start doing on a regular basis. Man, if you're still there, let me know, and we can stretch the conversation out even more. But yeah, Matt was in there saying how, and I'm not going to argue, but for those of y'all just popping in right now and you missed the opening part of the show, the topic is what drives your second life slash, or is your second life the driving force behind what you do in the virtual world? Now, to me, that's an interesting question. Glad to see you still there, Mad. Now, to me, that's a very interesting question because it can mean so much to many different people. Like I was saying in the opening of the show, it just depends on what you're looking for. Now, some people come in here just to build. Some come in here just to role play. Some come in here looking for their next romance. Or some come in here just to goof off. And like Matt was saying earlier, emotions can filter in from the physical world to the virtual world. And if you're a pain, for lack of a better word, in the physical world, you're going to be a pain in the virtual world as well. I'm trying to keep it somewhat PG here, but you get what I'm saying. Oh, man, should they give me a bug-eyed look? Yeah. Okay, now I want you to all think about something else here. Where what is it that makes you want to come back to Second Life? And is there any possible way that you feel Second Life is fulfilling your fantasy needs, maybe your emotional needs, maybe? Once a butt, always a butt. Well, that's a good way of putting it there, man. That's a very good way of putting it. Okay, now, right, all kidding aside for just a moment, there's one great thing about Second Life. If you're going through some emotional problems and have suffering some type of thing, anything and everything underneath the sun in the physical world, and you can't find that support group in the physical world, if you reach out in here in Second Life, you will find that the group the type of people you need to be around at any given time. Now, with me, hold on, I gotta check the instant message again. Now, with me, hey there. All right, well, I could do that, I guess. Andrea. All right, we'll just go with that then. We'll just call you Andrea instead of Mad, if that's what you request. No big deal. Thanks for letting me know that, by the way. Now, this past year, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not going to dive into too much detail, but I will say this. This past year, I say starting back in December, all the way up until here recently, I've gone through some pretty heavy stuff myself. And if you're looking for a particular type of support group to help you work through issues, whatever issues may be based on whatever it is you're going through at the time. You can find that in Second Life as well too. There's all kinds of organizations out there. There. See, that's another thing that I did a video about this before. A lot of people come in here because they can't find the support group that they need in the physical world. Whether it be because they don't really have viable transportation, and so they had to either ride a bike or walk a lot and can't make certain types of meetings or what have you. So they find it, they log into places like Second Life and other virtual worlds, and they find what they're looking for. They really do. Now, the thing is, that if that is what you're looking for in here, hey, you can't go wrong. But don't be upset if you along the way find a bunch of like Andrea says, butts. Okay, we'll just call them butts. Then along the way you find a lot of butts around there. It's going to happen, especially if you're brand new. Again, it's like a heat-sinking missile. It attracts you to the newbies just like that. It really does. Oh man. Now, like I said in the beginning, I came here for the inspiration aspect originally, many, many moons ago. And I've met some very interesting and wonderful people. And I've had my bad encounters as well. So I can speak from a personal experience that you've got to be careful in here. And if you're brand new to Second Life and you don't understand that yet, trust me, you'll learn it. You'll learn it real fast. Oh, man. Would you agree with it or not there, Adriel? And while we're waiting on her to respond, I'm safe to say that she would agree with that. You know, she's another one that's known Jack for a very long time. Boy, yeah, I'm sure she remembers quite a few stories as well. But anyway, I digress. What drives your second life? And is Second Life itself your driving force? That's what we're talking about today. For those of y'all that might be coming in for the very first time or watching this on the rebroadcast later on. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Jack's World. Stick around, dive deeper into the channel, look through some of the archives and all the other videos, and I'll guarantee you'll find stuff that you like. If you do like what I produce here in Jack's World, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit that like button because it helps the channel grow. And it helps because the more likes and interaction we get on these live streams, the more the YouTube algorithm starts putting it out to other people. That's how it works in a nutshell. So the more you all interact, the better the show gets. Now, like I said in the opening, and I'll say it again, and I'll probably end up saying it a couple more times before the show comes to an end, this is an experimental time slot. But the content was always going to be the same. I just got to find that sweet spot, like I like to call it. That little honey hole where everything just feels so magical. I will say this too. And I'm probably going to lose some listeners, and if you were listening on the radio side a little bit later on today, you'll get over it. But when you're going through some dark times, or just going through life overall, if you let God in, He'll guide you and protect you and help you through whatever trials and tribulations you're going through. He loves all His children. And if you haven't come to Christ yet, I welcome you to come to Him tonight or today. And will truly help you in whatever situation you are dealing with. He was there to help you. Plain and simple. Now let's get back on topic. What drives your second life? Now, to some would say that's a loaded question. But I have noticed in all my years in Second Life how it's changed throughout the years. It really has. But the core stays the same. If you were a shopping fanatic and you're always looking for the quote unquote best 50 linen sales on Saturdays and Fridays and what have you, that's always been there. And occasionally they have that 10 linen sale too. And I know some of y'all out there, you pounce on that crap. Yeah, you do. Oh, man. Yeah, there's a lot of shit to hear there. Most definitely. And I'm glad to see that, Andrea kind of echoes what I've been talking about. Anyway, you got to be careful because there's some shady people out there that will take advantage of you. But don't let that affect your second life experience because the world you choose to create in here can be very beautiful. And I'm going to tell you like this. If you can see it in your mind, you can find it in here. It's very, for a lot of people, the driving aspect of Second Life is, to go to a foreign land that you might not have the money to go to in the physical world. But you can go there in a virtual world, like London, um, the Bahamas, just to name a couple. Oh man, oh man, oh man. You know, for a test stream and a test time slot, I think we're going on pretty good. Um, I'll go a few more minutes, then I'll cut the stream free and get back to a few of y'all in world and see what you're getting up to and catch up with you. But for those of y'all that are tuned in right now, and then we coming into here later, like I said, and you're brand new, take some time, explore the channel, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, hit that like button, and tell all your friends about Dratch World. I want to also throw this out there to you as well. On the radio side, I am working on some radio content that's kind of reminiscent of the old time radio shows. I am looking for people that are willing to how can I put this? Okay, to lend me their voice. If you want to become a voice actor per se, contact me in World. That's Jack Baxton. And I can tell you exactly what I got going on and stuff like that. Now, like I said, that's gonna be radio shows. But if everything goes off without a hitch, I'll put up little trailers and little sneak peeks, little behind the scenes while we're taping and recording for the radio and put it up on YouTube to generate even more interest, hopefully. On that note, I want to sit there and say thank you to all y'all that have tuned in and that will tune in down the road. Thank you for your time. Everybody's time is so very, very valuable and precious, and I appreciate the time you give the channel each and every time you come to a video or you take out a live stream. Y'all stay safe out there. The temperatures here locally, anyway, they're getting chaotic, and we've had a lot of bad storms, so be safe out there in your journeys. And I'll see you all in next time. This has been Jack Bastion for. I'm going to come up with a new show title for this particular segment. I got one for couple of the other live streams that I've done that I do on a regular basis. So I'm glad to kick back and think about this one. This one might be the Second Life morning show or something like that. Who knows? Well, anyway, y'all have a great day, and I'll see you on the flip side. Be safe up there, stay cool, and get you on the next one. Bye.